Today is Sunday, Parashat Vayikra. That's the parasha that we'll read next Shabbat. It's the beginning of the third book of the Torah. And if you look at the scroll of the Torah, the first word that is written in the parasha Vayikra, which means, and he called, Vayikra and Moshe, and he called Moshe. In the Sefer Torah, the letter aleph, which is at the end of the word Vayikra, is written in miniature. So imagine yourself, you're writing, typing like a text, and the font that you chose, let's say, was 14, but the last letter in that word is written in the 8 font size. Why would the letter aleph be written smaller than the rest of the word? Well, the Midrash explains that the word Vayikra means, and he called, out of respect for Moshe, and calling him before Hashem spoke to him, he called him first. It's a similar word that was used when Hashem communicated with Bil'am. And Bil'am was a bad prophet. He was a person that was actually hired to try to curse the Jewish people. And when Hashem communicated with Bil'am, the word that is used is Vayikar, without aleph. And Vayikar, without the letter aleph, means, and he happened to speak, just happenstance. He was not like calling onto somebody and calling him, and that shows some kind of respect or affection or a relationship. Vayikar just happened to be that he spoke to him. And Vayikar also has it insinuates a certain aspect of impurity. So when Moshe Rabbeinu was told by Hashem to write in the scroll Vayikra, as if he was giving so much respect to Moshe, Moshe was a very humble person, Moshe Rabbeinu. He preferred to write the word Vayikar just as if Hashem just happened to communicate with him, not give so much importance to Moshe Rabbeinu as he was scribing the scroll of the Torah. But according to the Midrash, Hashem insisted, write Vayikra. So the compromise was that the aleph at the end of the word Vayikra was written in a small font, in a small letter. That was a compromise, because Moshe was going to write just Vayikar. And Hashem says, no, write Vayikra. So he wrote it in small, pointing out to the great humility of Moshe Rabbeinu. Last week's parasha, we saw that Moshe went to great length to give a complete accounting of every aspect of the materials that he collected for building the Mishkan, to make sure that the whole fundraising campaign was very transparent, that everything was used for the Mishkan. Even though, of course, he knew and Hashem would know that Moshe was very honest about everything that he received to be used only for the Mishkan. But when Moshe went through that extra effort, out of respect for the people, to show them that everything was perfectly accounted for. Here we see another example of the exact opposite of what arrogance could be. The exact opposite is humility, and that's the greatness of Moshe Rabbeinu. He was the most humble of all people. There's a midrash that says there is a little bit of ink that was left over from the size, smaller size that was done for aleph instead of the regular size like the rest of the letters. And that little piece, like the little drop of ink that was left at the end of the Sefer Torah, he had like extra ink, and that, according to Midrash, he sort of like put it on. It was like, touched somehow his forehead, and from there was rays of light that came out. And just it's a Midrash that describes, by way of parable maybe, but a description that shows us that through humility a person can really shine. And through arrogance, I guess, you achieve the exact opposite. But Moshe Rabbeinu was the most humble of all men. He's the one who merited to bring us the Torah from Har Sinai. He was the one who merited to go to Shamayim, and to merit to be the Adon HaNevi'im, the master of all prophets. With all his greatness, maybe he was due because of his great and incredible level of humility, that even to write the word Vayikra, he was not comfortable doing it that way. And that's why he compromised with the small little miniature aleph that you see in every Sefer Torah. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.